crazy.
That's crazy. It does feel long though. But yeah, so I guess my question was, what was it like designing that shoe and like working with the Dreamville camp to make sure that you got out what they kind of envisioned and their ideas and kind of what they wanted and making sure it was interpreted in the sneaker? Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of things that go into like a model like that, and then what you have to do and the marketing and just all the stuff around it. How was it to in that process?
That particular process, like I said, everything was super late. There was
Was that a behind thing too? Like one
yeah,
of those things where it was behind when you got there?
it wasn't behind. It was just it was behind, but it was another shoe before, and then it was like the same thing as the Swiss Beat thing. He saw the shoe that I had done, and then we switched it to that shoe.
Hmm.
But then we had to go. We would go to his house all the time, and we do colors and materials and stuff. So for the first shoe, um, it was a lot. He had a lot of input with the colors and materials and the stories behind the colors and materials and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, super good dude. But he admits that he's learning this. He wants to learn just as much as anybody else that's starting up with this. So it's not just like we give you something and you do this and you get a check. He's like he's
Yeah.
involved in it. So that's the good part. And he's super good dude. He'll hit us up randomly. He's like, yo, what if we did this color? Blah, blah, blah. So super nice dude.
Quick question, my bad. Is it mainly you working with Cole, or is it like working with Cole and Ibrahim, or is it like working with?
Cole, and is it just mainly
It's
Cole because of
mainly
his
just
deal?
Cole, but Eve be there. Eve's there too though. Eve's usually he comes in after we have like picked the line out basically, or like and we need to
Mm.
pick some last colors and he'll come and give his 2 cents too. Shout out to Eve for the Dreamville. But yeah, no, Cole's good people, man. And he's like my age, so like we understand a lot of the same things in terms of like when you're asking about stories from like your childhood and stuff like that. It's like the same
Mhm.
cartoons and stuff we were probably watching and foods we was eating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's been a dope process. I mean, like I said, he's learning, we're learning what he likes, and it's worked so far. We were obviously worried because it was during the pandemic when we were releasing stuff, and the first shoe was supposed to come out in March and didn't come out
Damn.
until July, the end of July,
Summer. Yeah.
August, um, and then sold out. So like we can't complain about anything. It's that was crazy that you just can sell out at a pandemic when there's stores aren't all aren't you, people ain't going to stores right now. So
Yep.
it is a crazy thing. But I do think
That's one thing that opened my eyes.
yeah,
Was that like I think this year I've always been like teeter tottering between like music and like footwear and apparel and stuff.
mm,
But then like this year when I saw that the like apparel and footwear industry could still survive a pandemic because people just love to buy stuff, I was like, oh, like this is because like, the music industry is not dead, but it has like I mean everything's been affected tremendously, but that side has been affected like really bad. Venues are gonna close. A lot of our favorite venues are gonna be gone when this is over. But like shit is still sneakers are still selling out. Like
yeah, crazy.
sneakers are it's so crazy.
It's
It's so
probably
crazy. But that's when I kind of knew I was like, okay, like I think what I've loved as a kid and like still enjoy now, maybe I should look harder over there because there's more longevity in that possibly, and it's just like you still love it and it's still surviving a pandemic. Like you have to pay attention to those things, even though everything's affected. But
it's like the gift and the curse. It's like
Yeah.
great for me and our company personally, and all these companies that are doing shoes and clothes and still being all right. Because you don't want nobody to fail and lose their jobs and money,
Hmm.
whatever. But at the same time, what's important is like it's kind of like backwards still. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still sort of backwards in terms of what we're actually thinks important. Uh, but
it's a hard thing. Yeah, it's a hard thing because I guess like I've always thought about that stuff. Like my job now is like I'm a marketing coordinator, but with the local sandwich company out here in Colorado, and I'm always feeling like it's just fucking stupid work sometimes because like I'm talking about sandwiches right now,
mhm,
and like we're dying in the streets. They're sweeping off homeless people every month, which is or not homeless but unhoused people every month.
yeah,
Like, and I guess it's just weird. It's like part of me like doing this podcast. It just feels like I'm actually doing something for my people when
yeah,
like my
yeah.
job doesn't necessarily give that to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you can do, man. I think that's what Freeman Platt was about. That's what even the Dreamer. The fact that the story behind the Dreamer is probably even more important than it's J. Cole's shoe. It's the fact that it's called the Dreamer because he wants to go to the league. Like his goal is even no matter what it is, follow your dreams. So like the story behind, if we're gonna be, I was blessed with the ability to draw shoes. So if I'm gonna draw shoes, I rather than have a story behind it, or I have a story behind how I became a shoe designer to encourage people to get to where they want to be type thing. Because, product's product, but if there's a story behind it that can help you along the way in life in general, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
So
100%.